I'm Carrie.
I'm Toni, and we are
Two Cranky Creatives.
This podcast is brought to you by the Graphics Gang, our online community you can find at patreon.com/graphics gang. Paid members can also watch many of the unedited podcast video recordings.
Hi, Kay. What are we cranky about today?
Hi, Toni. Hi, Carrie. We are cranky about managing multiple income streams.
Yes. Yes, and yes, some fucking more. Yes,
Yep.
we are. So that's going to be a great conversation. But before we get into it, Kay, why don't you introduce yourself to our listeners?
Yes, thank you. I am Kay Wolfersperger. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for your time. I'm a designer and illustrator, and yeah, those are my big intro words. I live in Savannah, Georgia, and I have been practicing creative for about 20 years now in one way or another, or category or discipline.
Cool. So yeah, nice. So I think, Carrie, how long have you been in the game?
It's hard to say. If you count web design since 1998, if you count graphic design since 2004.
Yeah, I count web design.
It all counts. Oh, yeah.
There's like 80 years between us.
Especially web design.
It's like a million years.
We're octogenarians between us. Okay. So I don't know. That just occurred to me. So, but along those lines, in those decades, lots of income streams, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so let's kind of like lead out with, so like when I am a facilitator. It's one of my many income streams. I am a facilitator for a local regional art alliance, and one of the things that we do is we help up and coming artists create sustainable income like practices, right? And so we talk about what we call a portfolio income, but in our world online, we call that multiple income streams. So what is mine? So I have a full-time job. I write tech plans for cities. I facilitate for a regional art alliance. I have an Etsy shop. I teach. I do art licensing. I do a lot of freelance illustration and graphic design. All those things. And there's probably more that I'm just not thinking of off the top of my... Oh, and I sell handmade books and journals. That's the other thing. Okay. So those are all my income streams. Yeah. What about you, Carrie?
It's hard for me to I don't even know anymore. Well, and also don't forget, Toni, even though it's not an income stream yet, you also host a podcast.
That's true. And I forgot the Graphics Gang too. So the Graphics Gang.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. So, we'll start. So I host a podcast. That's not an income stream yet. That's a labor of love. I do run, Toni and I both run the Graphics Gang on Patreon. I license my art. I do freelance illustration, sometimes freelance graphic design. I have an Etsy shop. I teach, I coach, I host trivia at a bar sometimes. I don't know. I feel like there's more in there, but I can't remember.
Well, your many POD shops, right? So you have lots of print on demand.
I do have a lot of print on demand. Yeah. And I do custom work for like print on demand clients a lot too, just because, like through Spoonflower. So,
okay. What's your list?
So very similar. So I started my career as a graphic designer, and that has been a through line up until I still have graphic design as an income. And within that is logo design, signage, brochures, like typical identity systems. So I've got that going still. I am an illustrator, so I mainly make images for licensing, greeting cards, games, puzzles. I also illustrate kids' books. So that's another income stream chunk. I also have print on demand stores. So I built one out on my website. And then I also built one out on Etsy, and I'm comparing sales there. And then another branch is wholesaling. So I'm also working on my wholesale income. And then most recently, like in-person events. So I'm going to collaborate with a local like pottery studio. I'm going to do like paint with artists, and we'll get together and blaze for a night. And I'm doing more public speaking in person. So I'm trying to grow that income stream.
Yep. And
so
I forgot about
big
that.
ones.
Yeah. And so I did forget about my like sorry, my dog is starting to bark. I forgot about the royalties I still get from my romance novels, which are shrinking as the years go by. But
Yeah,
there
that's
as
totally an
well.
income stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you have to
Yeah.
manage it. I have very, very tiny royalties from my book that I wrote.
Yeah.
And I do have to manage it every now and then. And I do have to file taxes for it. So it's still
Oh,
there.
for real? How do you
I mean,
feel?
it's like very small.
How do you feel now, like on the back, like the other side of that experience, both of you, the experience of writing books? Does it feel like it was worth it? And now you have these like issues and income coming from it after the fact? Like, how would you do it again? What do you think about that?
I
I can start because mine will be short.
Okay, yeah.
So I only wrote one book, and it's just a memoir because, and I don't want to be all bringing us down, but it's called Daddy Issues, a bipolar memoir or a memoir, but it's about my dad who had bipolar and I have bipolar and that experience. And I literally wrote the book. I wanted to publish it so that I could say that I put it out into the world, but that was something that I needed to do before I left this earth. Like that was like it would be great if I made money on it, but it was never designed to be an income stream. And I had a literary agent for a second, and I was really excited about maybe getting it out to more places, but you know, nobody wants to read a memoir from someone they've never heard of, which is fine.
Good, interesting point. Yeah, sure.
Well, you know, you read a memoir of a famous person because you're interested in the famous person. So I'm not a famous, you know, person. So
Carrie, I completely disagree. I read memoirs. Like it's one of the main genres that I read.
Really?
And
well, all the people I
never heard
pitched
of.
were like, no one's going to read this because no one knows who you are.
Well, whatever, you know, but I always go back to the Harry Potter with that one, like, because Harry Potter was rejected everywhere and it took somebody's 9-year-old kid to get it published. So
I didn't know that. That's
cool.
cool.
Yeah. So like she submitted it, it was rejected and like it was in a slush pile and the 9-year-old found it, read it and begged her dad to publish it. And he did a limited run of 2,500 copies. And that's how Harry Potter came into the world. So for me, I have very, 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 very strong feelings about the whole publishing industry. So I wrote 8 romance novels. My first one hit number 34 on Amazon's page.
That's cool.
It was my debut novel. I won a writing contest, which is how I got the contract. And I just got fucked so hard. And like, because, you know, I got a standard writing contract and you don't think about things. I wasn't in a position to hire a lawyer. I had some business law courses under my belt during my MBA. So like, you know, I felt confident. No, but I mean, like, I knew that I was taking some risks, but there are just some things you don't think about.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You know, and like, but here's the thing that made me feel better on like George R.R. Martin, Game of Thrones, had a standard writer's contract. So like the same basic contract that I signed for Song of Ice and Fire. So when he sold the rights, he got next to nothing. He's making all of his money on merchandising and the fact that HBO was generous with him. So, but for me, I had a standard writer's contract. They sold my rights to other companies. In fact, I just spent 8 months arguing with like the third company to buy these books to get them to pay me. And now I'm every day I'm looking for the payment because I'm like, you told me on Monday you were fucking paying me.
I hate
where's my money?
Chasing the money down.
You know?
So you had to literally chase it down.
I had to threaten them like my next step is I'm finding a lawyer in the UK. Like that
what is
my
their
next
deal?
step.
Are they ghosting you or are they getting back to you like, oh, it's coming.
Well, like, you know, they'll get back to me periodically and be like, oh, I'm so sorry, we're looking into it. And I'm like, this can't be fucking hard. Look,
it's
like I can see on the author's portal, this book is selling and it's selling on Amazon UK. You owe me money.
Yeah.
Would you write any more romance novels? Do you still have an interest in that?
You know, I asked to be let out of my last contract. So I was contracted for 5 books. And so I had 3 different publishers. And so with this particular company, I had written 3. There's a box set out available. It's under a pen name. You're not going to find it if you look for Toni Federico. And I asked to be let out of my last 2. I still get emails from people asking me like, will you write more books? But I'm like, I don't know. It's like romance novels are very formulaic at some level, and like it's known they're going to get together. It's just like, what do they traverse in between?
Spoiler alert. Thanks, Toni.
I did self-publish a contemporary fiction, which honestly, randomly, I was asked for an interview and they're doing a giveaway. That book is called Psycho Bitch, A Love Story, which I just love the title so much.
That's great.
That is good.
That, it's also out there under a pen name. Good luck finding it. But it is called Psycho Bitch.
Well, now
Love
I know
Story.
the title. So
yeah, by AJ Rico. I'm proud of this one. It was great. So I love that book. It's out there. We're doing a giveaway. You can get that book still. But then I do have a book that I just wrote.
Okay.
That is an ongoing income stream for you.
Yeah,
like
writing books. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the thing that's been weird about that aspect of it for me is that it's always been backwards. Like, I got the contract first. I've never pitched a book. So I've always had the contract because I won the writing contest. So then, from there, they were finding me and asking me to write for them.
Yeah.
So, which is how I got 8 books out into the world. And so then I walked away from it. And so now I'm in a position of, I have this literary fiction novel that I wrote, and I wrote it while I was getting my MFA. And I'm like, do I want to take the time to try and sell and pitch this? You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you one thing. I will never write another book proposal ever again.
Yeah. That one did it.
My
for
God.
you.
The book proposal was harder than writing the book. I actually, I wrote the book proposal and I was having such a hard time pitching it. I'm like, I'm just going to write the book and I'm going to be like, look, the book is done. I'm not going to give you a book proposal because here's the book.
Yeah.
So, and I did get an agent from that, but she ended up basically retiring. COVID happened. And then she was like, this is too hard. And then she just retired.
Yeah, that really brought a lot into focus for people.
Yeah, and she really meant well. I mean, I have no
them.
bad feelings for her at all.
It's still a life change for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, but
let's bring this back into illustration. So, or like art and
art.
into industry.
Art.
So
Art world.
So let's kind of frame the discussion a little bit. So multiple income streams. Shannon McNabb just released the industry survey that she does every year. And the median income for an illustrator in 2024 was between $2,000 and $2,900, $2,999, I think it was. So as a whole, for the year, $3,000.
Yeah.
Right. So that was the median. Yeah. And in fact, she just in her, I got her newsletter today where she was talking about that. We're undercharging for our art.
That. Mm-hmm.
That thing is meaty. I downloaded it and opened it up and I'm like, this has got to be my weekend reading because it's a lot of info. Thank you, Shannon McNabb. We love that.
Yes, we love you.
we sing her praises on this show all the time.
She's awesome.
Yeah. We need to see if we can get her on the show.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to throw the topic out there, Shannon. We'd love to talk to you about being cranky about undercharging for art. So
yes.
So here's the thing, and tell me if you agree or disagree. This is the reason why we have multiple income streams. Very few people can just make it on art licensing.
Yeah,
and part of that is the long game that art licensing is. And I think when the dream is being sold of, everybody can license art, get your art on products, right? That's the dream that everyone is being sold. Mm-hmm. Nobody's talking about the fact that it can be 12 to 18 months before you see a dime after you sell.
Yes. That. Where was that fact? Exactly. I wish I had learned that before I jumped in but I mean, ignorance is bliss, right? I'm also glad I jumped in, but I think it's so important. And thank you, Toni, for saying that out loud, that there is a massive delay in payment. And then all the upfront work, you're making work, basically spec work, throwing it out into the universe, hoping that it'll get picked up. So very real component of licensing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was born a masochist in some way, shape, or form because my 2 primary creative outlets have been writing and art, and you always work for free and try to sell it later.
Yeah.
And it's just what the hell is going on with me? Clearly I'm a masochist. So
yeah. Well, you do some graphic design, at least some of the graphic design work that I do. I'm doing some right now. I'm getting paid for the time that I'm putting into it.
Granted, yeah.
But for like real creative illustrations and stuff like that, or art licensing, I mean, you create it. And if anybody doesn't know what we're saying about spec work, so spec work is, as a graphic designer coming from that world, which I know both of you can relate to, that is like a bad word, or two bad words in the graphic design world. You hear the American Institute of Graphic Arts, that I'm a member of, and I love them. They're always like, don't do spec work, or don't do contests, because it's really easy to get taken advantage of, and get your work stolen, or just do a bunch of work for nothing. But the thing is, and as a graphic designer, I was always taught, don't do spec work, because maybe a little piece here and there, but that's why you have a portfolio. You shouldn't have to do the spec work if people can see what your style is. Right. Why would they ask you to prove yourself when you've already shown them what you can do? Right. But unfortunately, in the world of illustration and art licensing, you have to do spec work. And
that was a really hard change for me. To go from design, you're like, wait, what? It's all for free?
Right. I'm like, I'm just spending all these hours making this art and hoping that somebody licenses them. And if they don't, I'm just sitting on it.
You know how I resolved that for myself, Carrie? Because honestly, I was getting to the point where I was ready to walk away, because graphic design is one thing. And I think when I think about myself as an artist, I don't think about the graphic design work I do, because for me, that is not my artistic expression, right? Okay. That is me solving an illustrative problem for a client. And so if I design a logo, or with the possible exception of like the recipes that I'm doing for Greatness Vodka right now, where like it's very much my illustrative style, even though it's for this company. But a lot of the times I'm designing something that is not who I am as an artist per se, but it's graphically giving the client what they're looking for. So I'm designing to their desires, right? I'm solving a problem for them. And I'm always saying that graphic design is not about who you are as an artist. It's about designing a reaction in the viewer, right? So like you're crafting a response from the viewer when you do graphic design. So I tend to think about it in this like completely separate bucket. But then over here, where it's like who I am as an artist, right? And I'm like designing collections, and like I have licensed my illustrative work. But I haven't had any of the big time, like big box, like I haven't hit that level yet. It's very small companies, and that's great. And I love it. Don't get me wrong. But, like it's at this level. So I've got like, I think I have 150 patterns. Right.
Wow. That's a lot.
Because I mean, like, I don't know. I'm prolific. Like I'm always creating, and, or I shouldn't have said patterns, 150 kind of like illustrations and patterns all coming together.
Yeah.
Pieces. And, pieces. SKUs, as the wholesaler was saying. And I was ready to walk, because I'm like, oh my God, like this is not working. Like I'm not getting anything. So here's how I have resolved that for myself. I create journals and sketchbooks. So now I create a pattern collection, and regardless of whether I've licensed it or not, I use those patterns as book cloth. So now I'm seeing something come to life from these patterns that I'm spending all of my time creating. And then if they get licensed, great. Yeah, but like I had to find a way to make it worth the effort that I put in to this.
And I found a similar like resolution by making my wholesale products. I'm like, okay, well, if this doesn't get picked up, then I can put it on notebook, put the greeting card out myself. That has been such a great way to manage my motivation, or staying motivated with making this artwork as you throw it out into the ether.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And then managing all of that stuff, like managing the multiple income streams of, okay, so you have the art that you're licensing or pitching, but then you also have the art that you're funneling into wholesale products or book cloths. But then you have to kind of keep track of where is and also what happens if you get an exclusive licensing offer? Mm-hmm. You're like,
right.
Well, wait a
How
minute.
do you backtrack? Where did
I deal with that all the time. I have like a little spreadsheet that I had to create for myself. Yeah. But just managing the art itself is like, wait, where is that? Who has anyone licensed? What are the terms of the contract? Do they allow me to have it on print on demand? Is it okay if it's on print on demand and I just take it down, or is it going to be ruined that it was ever on there? And just managing all that information.
Track of that. Yeah. You said Excel sheet. What other?
Yeah, I actually I created a Google Sheets document, which is basically Excel. I'm not a Microsoft Office fan. I use Google for everything anyway, so I'm like, whatever. But then I can link to my Google Drive files. So I have where I have like, what is the name of the art? And then I have a link to the file in my Google Drive. Yeah. And they have the image of it. And it's just like Airtable. A lot of people, Shannon uses Airtable. And then I have who licensed it, for how long, for what royalties, what are the terms, and is it exclusive or non, and any other pertinent details. Yeah. I tried to keep a record of all of my art, and every time I created a new piece, have it in a spreadsheet. But I had the free Airtable and I ran out of space. And then I was like, shoot, I don't need to do all this. I have like over 1,000 pieces if you count every single pattern and blender and colorway and illustration and whatever. I can't do that. It's just not possible. So I'm just keeping track of the art that I've licensed.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only stuff that matters. That's the only stuff I have to worry about when someone approaches me for licensing. I have to go, wait a minute. And then I have a licensing catalog through my website, which is, it's literally just a gallery of images. But then the only like janky way that I did it was I have, like it's on Squarespace. I have like a caption below the image. And what I do is I put the title of the image and then a dash, and then I'll have available in all caps if it's completely non-licensed, or then not licensed non-exclusively. And I tell people, when I show them my catalog, ask me questions if you have any, need any clarification. But that's like the really that's a terrible way to do it. I don't recommend anyone.
It gets it done. It gets it done.
I don't necessarily think that's terrible. I mean, it's better than not having anything at all. I mean, I do something similar in Notion. So I
think Notion's probably better.
It is and it isn't. I mean, so like Notion is kind of like if somebody took all the power of a website, all the power of a database, and all the power of Excel and threw it at you and said, like, go have fun. I love it. I'm still like I love Notion. I'm trying to figure out like everything. I'm thinking about bringing my website into Notion because I can pay $100 for everything. And like,
I can't figure it out. I am so overwhelmed when I look at Notion. I'm like, I just walk away.
Same. I also got overwhelmed by Notion.
Take a Notion 101 class. It's seriously on. Well, Carrie, I'm so surprised, especially as a former web designer. But anyway,
I know it's there's something about it that was like, whoa, I just can't. And I walked away.
I use Asana, and that's been good. That's so funny. Yeah. I wonder if
Toni doesn't like it.
Work differently, but that's really helped me keep it sorted. Yeah.
I have clients that use Asana, and every time I'm just like, please, no. Oh my God, please don't make me. Asana and Monday.com, both of them. I'm like,
is that like a spreadsheet kind of program or no?
Asana, it's more like list is how I would describe it. Like a bunch of lists, sections, lists. I use more of the list style. There are boards, but I just use lists, and that really works for my brain.
It just didn't work for me. But anyway.
Tony's having like a visceral.
I know, you're like
face for it.
I hated it because you know what? Like I'm always like trying to find a thing that's going to like keep me organized. I have learned
the pursuit is real.
I have learned it doesn't matter how digital I try to go. I'm always back to paper and pen at some point, or like a whiteboard, but like I do need I need a database of all of my images, and I need a database. Like I need these things so that when the time comes, I can go, yes, I did copyright that. And here's the certificate number, but, and like kind of leave it at that. But why is this important? Because, this is one of these are the things that come with managing multiple income streams, right? So like if you're licensing, you have to track all this motherfucking data.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. And timing and timelines and how long is something good for and when do I follow up? That's the other thing I like about Asana is you can set dates. So even if it's like 2 years from now, it's one cool thing about management software like that is that you don't have to keep that in your head. You can just dump it on there and and
Right.
it'll remind you
it's
later.
time to follow up, or
Exactly.
that's
Yeah. So that's been
expiring.
handy. But yeah, very real problem with the multiple income stream model.
Right. And we're in tax season right now. And I just did my taxes.
Oh, good job. Nice.
I got to get it done because it's like the bear that sits on my shoulder until it's done. Right.
I hate it. Yeah.
And and we interviewed Hannah Cole. In fact, that episode is coming out very soon after we record this. And after talking with her, I went and I revamped how I was tracking all of my income and expenses. And it made it, in fact, I'm going to share that with the graphics gang, but it made it so much easier to do my taxes.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
But in going through it, I was like, oh my God, like, here's this type of income and here's this type of income, and I also do grants. And that's something else that I don't like, that a lot of people don't always think about, that you can get grants to fund things. So I wanted to go to this fiber arts conference that was coming to Wichita for the first time. Right. So I do slow stitching. It's one of the things I do with the journals that I create. It's a form of embroidery. So I do slow stitch and then I'll turn that into book covers. Right. And so it was like, I'm in Kansas. I don't have a whole lot of people doing Japanese embroidery here in Kansas. So, so sashiko stitching is what I do. And so they were coming here and they had classes in sashiko. And so I was like, Kansas Arts Commission, I'm trying to do this. Please pay me so that I can go to this conference. Please, I'm begging you. And sure enough, I got the grant.
That's awesome.
Congratulations.
Cool.
I've never gotten a grant.
Me either.
I never even thought about it, about applying.
Yeah. So a lot of arts commissions have access grants. This one was called an access grant. But it'll tell you like what it's for. And this grant was very specific. Do you want professional development? Do you want to go to a conference? If so, apply for this grant. And if you get it, you can do that. And it was reimbursement. So I had to pay up front and then they reimbursed me. But I got a grant through 2 different agencies. I got grants to take immersion, to take repertoire, and to go to Convergence. So I did not come out of my pocket for any of those things.
Awesome. Way to work it. Yeah.
Right? Because this is expensive. I mean, all of that together.
All these classes, they ain't cheap.
No. Right? That was $5,000 when you put that all together. Right? Like, that's not, I don't want to pay for that. So, so I got a grant. But you have to track that and you have to report that on your taxes. And so and then to make it even weirder, I got the money in one year and the expense came in the next year. So that was really fucked up on my taxes. But, these are ways that we need to think. We have to think creatively to fund ourselves as an artist. And, the program that I work with is called Artist Inc. INC, incorporated, because the whole idea is that we're businesses. And I think that we as creatives, when we think about ourselves, we think about that creative aspect, and oftentimes we don't take the time to think about the business part of it all.
Yeah. Because we have to be business managers.
Yeah.
You manage multiple income streams, even though we want to draw the pretty pictures. And that's really all I want to do, right? Is draw pictures. I have to be a business person.
Yeah, to keep drawing pictures. Absolutely.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yep. I came up with this great phrase: if you want to be a business person, be an artist, because it captures that that's really what you're becoming when you're like, I want to be an artist. You might as well just be like, I'm a business person.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you're managing your own company. You have to.
But I didn't know that going into it. I knew I was like, okay, I should get incorporated and have a special bank account. But then, it's like wholesale and collecting sales tax and reporting that, all that properly. And what state are you in? Like Georgia might be different than Kansas.
Yeah.
So all those different
sales tax story.
Yeah. All those different components.
It's true. These are the things that you need to think about. And I think the frustration is, we come into this arena because we need to express ourselves or we love art or something like that. And then you have to have the come to Jesus moment of this isn't paying my bills.
Yeah.
And so what am I going to do? So what are the decisions I've made? I made a decision back in 1996 that I was not quitting my day job, right? Because I did all the things, I marketed myself, I was responding to RFPs, it wasn't Fiverr at the time, but it was whatever it was in the 90s, the early
Craigslist?
days.
Just kidding.
Maybe it might have been like, I don't even remember, but like where like people were like, I'm looking for a freelance graphic designer. And then you're like responding and like, hey, here's my portfolio. Like, here's what I charge. And you're doing all the things. You know, I did all of that. And then I very quickly was like, I don't fucking like working for you, you know? And so I had to have this moment of going, you know, okay, if I make a conscious decision to stay, and I was a web designer at the time, to stay working, what are the cons? The cons are like, I'm always beholden to that job, and that is going to be a limitation on my creative business. But
and your
what is
time.
And my time. But what is the benefit? I get to say no.
Yeah.
And not have to worry about that. You know, how am I going to pay my cell bill? You know what I'm saying? And so so that's a decision that I made, you know, but that doesn't change the fact that as a creative, you're taking on all aspects of a business. You have to market yourself. You have to brand yourself. You have to look at your corporate structure. You have to report your income. You have to understand the laws in your state. You have to, think about how are you, like, my business still needs to fund itself, you know, because like, I don't want to constantly be putting my salary, which I'm using to pay my living expenses, into my business, you know? And so like these are the things that I don't think when we come into this world, you know, of surface design or illustration or licensing, you know, that like, this is not the conversation we have. The conversation is like, how do you pitch world market?
Right.
You know, and not like, okay, you're pitching world market. You're not going to get paid for 18 months. You know,
what do you do in the meantime?
What are you doing in the meantime? How else are you bringing in income? Like, are you tracking your expenses? Do you really need that Doodle subscription that you got because it was cool? You know, like what are these choices and decisions? But guess what? In that 18 months, you still got to make money. So how else are you going to make money while being a creative?
Yeah.
And do you think we're the exception or are we the rule? Like,
I think we're the rule.
Okay, so you know more.
When you say we, like, what do you mean? Like people with all
illustrators? Yeah, people in the creative industry, illustrators, people doing licensing, maybe that category.
The reason I say I think we're the rule.
I feel like we are. I mean, yeah. Go ahead, Toni.
When so I recently did a fellowship, Artist Leadership Fellows.
Ooh,
and again, for Regional Arts Alliance. And so it was me, I was the lone surface designer, and I'm in there with studio artists and sculptors, you know, and musicians, and all of them had teaching jobs. Some of them are still like working something maybe in retail. Some of them are on Etsy. Some of them have gallery representation across the board. None of them were, I get to just do studio art or I get to just do sculpture. You know, some were teaching at the university. Like, I just think that's the nature of it. And I don't think it should be a rude awakening for people after they've decided to join this industry. I think you need to know going in that, I mean, honestly, and Bonnie Christine said this in one of her podcast episodes. She said she hadn't been pitching very much, right? The majority of her money was coming from teaching.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, teaching is a really good income stream, I will say, as a Skillshare teacher, and it's really rewarding too. But teaching pays pretty well. You know, it's and it's also like, I don't know, it comes semi-naturally to me. I feel like it's sometimes harder to sit down and draw something than it is to like come up with a class. It depends. It depends on the day,
and I was like, that's an income stream I forgot about. I offer class audits for people who are doing teacher, right? Because I'm trained in curriculum design and e-learning design. So like, I got really tired of shitty classes because I was taking so many of them, and and I was like, that's not designed well.
Tony's told me before that my Skillshare classes that are 38 minutes for one lesson are maybe a little too long. I can't.
Good consulting. Good consulting.
I know. I'm like, next one, I'll make it shorter.
I like teaching too, but I find it really draining, and it's fun and engaging, but I get really tired. Like, I did a class visit at my alma mater last week in the illustration department at SCAD. It was so fun, but the week, like, it was a Thursday and Friday, and then the weekend I was just like toast because I just gave a lot, but I'm also not conditioned to it. There's probably an endurance factor you build up from teaching where it becomes second nature.
Well,
it's
and you were also doing in-person teaching.
I
think
was, yeah.
Online teaching where I can film it and cut it and walk away versus in person, which is basically that. I think that the in-person aspect has got to be much more exhausting. I went to the Atlanta gift market in person and was pitching basically, and that was way more exhausting, although so is sending emails. But you know, it's I don't know if it's like a post-COVID thing or whatever, but just getting out of my house is exhausting.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, I'm still
true.
acclimating to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and in person is totally different. I have never been more exhausted than when I taught English at the local university. Like it's just so tiring. Like, you know, it is. But, you know, the thing I think that, and like another one just came to mind, Elizabeth Silver is another one. Like I saw, and it's not recent, but I saw one of her emails. She recently, I think she phrased it, she broke up with her agent, but it wasn't like there was a problem in the relationship. It was just, she's making more money teaching. She's making next to no money licensing at this point. So she was like, I'm just going to focus on teaching, you know? And so I think that, you know, what I'm hearing us say is that like multiple income streams are kind of just like a reality, right?
Yeah.
Like if you look at
that's fair to say. Absolutely.
Right. It's just a reality. Like if you know, maybe you're lucky and maybe you're going to be one of the ones who, but honestly, I'm struggling to come up with, because all the names that are coming to mind right now, Kat Cocolette, she teaches and she licenses. Stacy, she teaches and she licenses. Bonnie, she teaches and she licenses. So like, I can't think of anybody. Shannon McNabb teaches and licenses. Like all the names that I'm trying to come up with, there's nobody I can think of that isn't doing more than one thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
Right.
Well, and I mean, I will go so far as to say, I mean, I do have, they're all small jobs as far as, you know, a small portion of my income, but I have like 10 different things that we all have like 8 to 10 different things that we do. Because even if I were to be like, okay, I'm just going to teach full time, that wouldn't be enough either.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? Like I try to, and also I wouldn't be satisfied. I wouldn't be fulfilled emotionally just teaching. But it's like when we first did our first episode and we were talking about this life that we live
that we chose.
Yeah, this life that we chose. I was like, I just want to have an episode about like 50 jobs or like 1 million jobs or like, cause it's really, so I'm just going to be totally blunt. Like I cannot tell you how many times I've been like stomping around my house and trying not to scare my cats. You know, I try not to stomp too hard, but it's like, you know, I work in my studio, which is also in my house. And I'm like, I got to do all this. Okay. The trash, I got to feed the cat's hungry. Oh, I haven't eaten today. Wait, a package came. And then I just start yelling into the air. And my boyfriend is like, oh God. And I'm like, I just have to do this and this and this and this and this. And I need help. I can't do all of this stuff. And, you know, and it's like, it's just very stressful and makes me really cranky. And it also makes for a terrible work-life balance. I don't feel like I have a work-life balance. I keep adding things, income streams too, because I panic about money. Like if I have a slow month, like print on demand goes haywire, amazing bananas during the holidays. My print on demand shops are like, wait, if only this happened all year round. But then January, you know, on these sites like Redbubble and stuff, it slows down a lot. And I start panicking. I'm like, or if I have like, or if a platform shuts down, like I was teaching on design cuts and society, you know, I have Society 6, platform shut down. When one of your income streams just goes away overnight, maybe with no warning, design cuts. Anyway, but that's really panic inducing. Yeah. And then you go, well, now I got to add another income. Like, what am I going to do to make up for that income stream?
Right. Yeah. That's very real. And I had a similar issue like that. I was with Lila Rogers and amazing, but she chose to retire, which is great. And
she's been doing it a long time.
But she closed the agency aspect, and I was a represented illustrator through her. And it was a shakeup. It was like, oh my gosh, now what am I going to do? And thankfully, I had kept up a good portfolio and then signed with Bright shortly after. But it's scary when something dries up or slows down. And then these last probably 3 to 4 years have been unpredictable with COVID. So before COVID, I was just like booked all the time. I had never had a drought of work, and then COVID happened, and then the sands have been shifting ever since.
Yeah.
So that predictability element's out the window. And like you, Carrie, I'm like, all right, what's happening next? But like devil's advocate to our woes, you said the big F word, Carrie, fulfillment, like feeling fulfilled about what you're doing. So another part that's cool about having all these different income streams is that it's like very lively. I'm never bored. I'm always like, am I making a design for my wholesale? Am I making an image for licensing? So even with all the like frustrating kind of scary parts, I'm still like, I still don't want to do anything else. I'm still feeling
I wouldn't do anything
else.
I
know,
either.
right? I'm still really feeling
I'm a masochist too.
Yeah.
Well, you know, I worked corporate web design for years, and then I went out on my own as a freelancer in the like early 2000s. After I retired, I got a degree in graphic design, or retired. After I quit that job, in my 20s, I retired. Yeah. But I got a degree in graphic design, and I started doing freelance, but I didn't like the business aspect of it and of doing graphic design. So I went into film, and I loved working in the film industry because I'd have like 4 or 5 jobs a year with different bosses. Every 3 or 4 months, I had a new job. And every day, every 5 minutes was different in film. And I love that, because the worst depression that I've ever experienced was when I was working at a job and it hit me that the next day was going to be the same as the day before.
Oh yeah.
And that actually induced like real true depression.
Yes.
And I enjoy, being overstimulated and constantly being busy. And I definitely wouldn't do anything else either, because I love this. But, so solutions, okay, I'll start. My solution to managing the stress that makes me cranky from multiple income streams is being organized and using the tools that, even free tools like Google Sheets. You don't have to have a paid Google account to create a spreadsheet, or, Airtable, you can get free accounts. Managing my, pre-scheduling my social media posts or whatever I'm doing for marketing. Basically just using as many tools as I can without having to spend any money, to keep myself organized so that I let my income streams sort of manage themselves. And then I have a ton of bookmarks on my computer. So on my browser, so I can just go and I have them all organized. So I can go, okay, art licensing clients, let me go here. I'm going to do this. All right. How's that doing? And that way I feel at least like it doesn't run itself. My business definitely doesn't run itself, but I have everything organized where I can find what I need. And that gives me the peace of mind to feel way less overwhelmed. And
you're
less
working
cranky.
Smarter, not harder. Yeah. The old smarter, not harder bit.
Yeah. What about you, Kay? What are your solutions?
A lot like Carrie, staying organized, using like minimizing costs. So using my Asana is the free level. My invoicing software is harvest.com, and that's like $12 for one membership. So keeping those costs low, right? Because if we keep those low, then we're not so stressed about having big, huge, giant incomes to pay for that. I also these 3 life pillars are really important to me. So if I get enough sleep and I'm getting enough exercise and I'm eating healthy, because I love candy, I love junk food, but it just like wrecks me if I eat that way. So as long as I'm like doing well in those 3 areas, then I can keep a sharp mind and the stress, and I'm able to like keep up with all those different things that are coming at me. So, and then I'm not like a brain surgeon, right? Like no one's going to live or die if I am like cranking out 2 illustrations or 10 illustrations a day. So not to like demean what we're doing by any means at all, but we got into this profession from a place of joy. So I always try to go back to that place of like, the process. It's not about like chasing the next licensing deal. It's, am I enjoying drawing this cat sitting in a field of flowers? And I am. And I try to steer my day towards that, and being organized, of course.
Yeah. I would say what I would add to that is that if the need of multiple income streams is a reality, then you should choose ones that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you don't enjoy, like I have avoided getting on Skillshare. I have avoided, hosting a class. When I say I teach local workshops, and I teach them when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Because while I enjoy teaching, I know that if you slow down, like you're not going to make as much income on a platform like Skillshare. And my dog is starting to freak out. So hopefully, I don't know if like y'all can hear that or not. But so like I don't have the bandwidth to keep up with what I would have to do to make Skillshare really work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that means I have made a conscious decision not to get on that platform, even though I know that I have classes that I think would be really beneficial to put out there, but I don't have the bandwidth. I'm not going to do it because that, to your point, Kay, that's going to tank what little balance I'm working with right now. Yeah. So like I've made very, very conscious decisions, around what am I willing to put the time in. And I have been a serial entrepreneur for all of my adult life. I mean,
serial entrepreneur. I love it.
Yeah. Like I have a wacky educational background. For a while, I was like consulting with people buying diamonds, right? Like you're about to propose to your,
awesome.
I know. I'm like, what have you not done?
Right. So like you could hire me to buy your engagement ring for you, for your girl. You know what I'm saying? And like, so like, or I would just teach you how to buy a diamond because there's actually a way to go about it to save you. I would always say, I can save you $500, $500 to $1,500 in 5 minutes, because all I gotta do is teach you how to price.
Tagline. That's a great,
I know.
And so like people would pay me for this, and like, that's great. But then I was like, you know what? I don't feel like doing it. I'd rather sketch. Yeah. And like, and I found out that I was like putting off marketing that business to draw. And I'm like, well, this is a life lesson right here. So like we shut that down. And now like, I decided to go all in on art. But like within that, I'm making conscious decisions about what I'm willing to put my time and energy into. And, even within that, like I learned very early on with myself, I'm not a coach, because like when you push back on me, I'm going to be like, bye.
Okay.
I don't think one-on-one is going to work. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Cause like, like the same, like when I had my baby, I thought it for a long, like I had such a great experience being pregnant. And like the whole thing was so amazing. I was like, I'm going to be a doula. And then, and then I realized like I started watching a lot of TLC, A Baby Story. And I was like, oh no, man, you're whining. No, fuck that. Nope.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I can't be compassionate.
A lot of whining and crying.
Know thyself.
Babies being born.
Like suck it up, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. But, so I was like, yeah, that's not for me. But to that, in that same
you could be
vein,
like the tough love doula.
Like when we were talking with Nate and Sally though, like I was like, yeah, like, they've written into my performance to, evaluations that she's too aggressive, like, well, yeah, that's me. All right. My husband always says he took me out the hood, but he couldn't take the hood out of me. So, okay. We're here.
Well, we get along great. And you were very easy to get along with, at least from my perspective. So,
well, I'm very nice. Just don't piss me off. No, I'm just kidding.
Note to self. All right.
What my friends are always like, like they always know, like if somebody needs to rumble, call Janet. Like she'll be at your back. It's cool. So
nice. I'll remember that too. But you're all the way across the country. So
hey, planes. Well, I'll get there. I got your back, Carrie. It's cool.
Well, I think that's good. That's a good solution, though.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Like, remember the joy. Remember why. I hate to sound cheesy because everyone says it, but remember your why. But it's true.
It is.
I mean,
it is true. Yeah.
And don't undertake. I am guilty of undertaking a new or seeking out a new income stream because I'm panicking. So I don't know if you guys do that or not. Maybe not. But I have like financial anxiety.
But I mean, no, I don't, Carrie, but this is why I keep a full-time job. So I never have those moments, right?
Yeah.
Like my living, but that's why. Now, if I didn't have that full-time job, hell yeah, I'd be panicking. I'd be like, oh, what design cuts? All right, where can I get on next? But yeah, no, I'm totally with you with that. So
I don't pick up. Yeah, I try not to panic. And I try to channel that into making new work.
Yeah.
And because I know I've done that before where I've panicked and tried to like pull in extra income streams or say yes to every project. And then I'll find myself like spread so thin because I've said yes to everything and I'm miserable. So I try to hang on to that feeling.
Yeah.
Because there will, I try to think abundance because like there will be more jobs, there will be more opportunities. And I try to hang on to that. And that's been really helpful. And it's true. Like it's been working. So like it was quiet in December and January and now it's gangbusters and I've got a lot more work coming in. So I just try to remember like it's seasonal, right? All of these aspects of our careers.
Exactly. And like, I have to say, I'm usually not profitable until mid-year. Right. So it usually takes me until mid-year to turn a profit. And that's because my overhead expenses, my infrastructure expenses don't go anywhere, but the work fluctuates. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so I was shocked that this is like, I'm profitable in January. Like I was like, what the hell? 2020, year of the snake. Come on.
Yay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I was like, holy fuck, this is new. But the thing that I want to say to our listeners too, though, is it's okay to experiment. Like, try that new thing. If it doesn't work, stop. It's okay. Like, but experiment, like have fun. You want to try, maybe classes are for you, maybe not. Put a class out. Didn't work, didn't like it. Don't do it again. It's okay. Like, but try and find out what you love and then embrace that. All right. Well, I think that is a great place to wrap up that part of our conversation. And so, as I said, Kay, earlier, we have some hot seat questions for you. So these are lots of fun. So let me roll them over here where I can see them. Okay. So we're going to start with, what is your least favorite color?
Poop brown.
I usually ask why.
I love that.
So is it just brown in general or that particular shade of brown?
I love a good chocolate brown. It's just that like green, yellow leaning brown.
Oh, baby poop.
Baby poop.
Yeah, don't love that one. That was
so the poop emoji color is okay then?
I think that's all right. It's borderline, but
okay. Mocha Mousse gets a pass then?
Absolutely.
Okay. I am one of those rare people that I liked Mocha Mousse. Like, I mean, it's not
that's
like
color of the year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I can't say I'd like seek it out or go out of my way to have it, but I wasn't like, oh, why'd they choose? I was just like, I hated that whatever peach color they did last year worse.
Oh, see, I love that. The peach fuzz. I thought it was great.
Yeah.
But
I was like, whatever. All right, Kay. So this is an either or. You can answer both or leave it alone or just choose one, but your least favorite medium and or software.
Ooh, let's see. Least favorite. This is a good one. Almost too good. Okay, medium. Let's go with medium. I don't know if this counts, but in junior college, we had to take 3D and we were taught how to use the big, like the saws to make 3D modeling. It was almost more like a shop class and it's just really scary. So I'd have to say it's probably my least favorite medium. Like I was trying to make something and the blade was breaking and it was like super, super terrifying. So I try to stay away from the machinery. So I'd have to say if that counts, that's my least favorite medium.
I have a question. Were you cutting styrofoam?
I wasn't. I was cutting wood, like different pieces of wood. I forget the right terms, but it was like this blade and you've got to like put your wood through the blade and it's just really scary.
Yeah. My husband does wood art and like
wow. That's off to him.
Yeah, exactly. Like I refuse to like touch anything. I'm like, if he's like, oh yeah, you can go in my workshop, and I'm like, no.
You're like, no.
Yeah,
you go get that for me. So I'm not touching it. So I'm totally with you on that.
Sharp objects. Sharp rotating objects with electricity running them. No.
Yeah, that's a pass. Yeah. That's a pass. So all right, okay. Least favorite font.
Ooh, that's so good. I don't see it out in the world very much anymore, but I got to go with the classic Comic Sans.
Yeah.
You and me. Virtual high fives. That's what I said. That's
I've
what I
actually seen
said.
it a lot, actually, now that we're talking about it, but it'll always have that special place in my heart of like, yuck.
You know why I think we don't see it
Yeah.
very much anymore, though? Because, and Carrie and I talked about this on a different episode, but after they did this major release of the Higgs boson particle using Comic Sans, there was this big article that was written about like which fonts to use to be taken seriously and like dissecting how like Comic Sans, you cannot be taken seriously if you use that
Right?
font.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So like, I agree. I hate it. Hate everything in that family, but that's okay.
Yeah, and Comic Sans is such a universally hated font. Even
is,
people who
yeah.
don't know what a font is know what Comic Sans is, and they know they hate it. Like non-artists are like, I know what Comic Sans is, and I
Right.
cannot stand it. Yeah.
So, all right, last one. Least favorite trend. And we have not put constraints around trend. It can be however you interpret that.
Ooh, trend. This is probably my like fitness like fascination talking, but what scares me is the trend of like fitness influencers claiming they're big. Like I just watched apple cider vinegar on
Ooh.
I'm watching that
Netflix.
right now.
Right, it's like a whole documentary. It's based off of a true story, but so good. By the way, I loved watching it. But it's that. It's like
Docudrama.
the exploitation of health and wellness when there are real people that can benefit from health and wellness, but other people just like taking advantage of it. So that's become a trend, and I'm like, people just double check your facts before you take up any physical or nutritional practice.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly. Well,
Yeah.
Kay, it has been absolutely amazing talking to you. I'm so glad that I finally got to meet you in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
And thank you for joining us. So, but before we let you go, please tell everybody where to find you on the interwebs.
All right. I am at kaywolfersperger.com. Everything branches out from that. You can find my Instagram and see all my new work and get in touch with my agent, kaywolfersperger.com.
And we'll make sure to link that into the show notes for everybody as well. So thanks again. And thank you for joining us. I hope you had as much fun as we did.
Thank you. It was such a pleasure.
If you're loving this podcast, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. And while you're at it, we'd love it if you could rate and review us. Your support helps more people discover the show, and it keeps us going strong. Thanks for tuning in. It means a lot. I'm Toni.
And I'm Carrie. It's okay to be cranky.
In the meantime, keep creating.